We all need to think as one.
You've been moved to the end. Oh, you have to find a chair. The monk didn't bring a chair in like I asked him to. Nobody ever knows what I tell him to. We'll find it.
The boxes don't need a chair, do they?
Can you start making noises?
I can very soon. So you make noises?
Sometimes.
What kind of noises do you make?
All different kinds.
Like electronic noises?
Well, these devices that'll be electronic.
What devices are it otherwise?
No. Get a chair like well, no, I think we get the back of your head. There's several things we can do with it. Let's see. Okay, that's got you. You're on camera, so. Okay. Okay. Now you would. I'm not going to put your video up immediately.
Oh yeah, whenever you'd like.
I'm going to put up what I had in there before.
Awesome.
And
Can you make noises?
can I make noises?
Can he make noises?
Yeah, but one thing at a time. He can make noises.
Great.
Make them.
I'm preparing. That's the way it works.
I'm preparing too.
Bad, right?
Now, do you need headphones so that you can hear what you're doing?
No.
Then you shan't hear what you're doing. That's going on. Okay. Now, if you will go ahead and feed me a feed, I will bring mine down and I'll bring you up. So go ahead and.
Here we have a reverse symbol. Should be getting some kind of a signal from that. Getting anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that what we're going to hear? We're going to hear a reverse
Well,
symbol.
that's the first one. Here, let me give you a different noise.
Then we're going to hear a forward symbol.
It's a Pac-Man eat cherry noise.
I think you really should put on the headphones so that you'll know
Okay.
We're not
what
going
we're
to get to hear
hearing.
it.
Okay.
Oh.
No, you have to wear the headphones. You can put on the headphones. See,
People out there in TV
you see what I'm talking about?
Can you hear it out there? Can you hear this? I
Okay,
can't hear it.
that was the volume I turned it to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Well, so you're gonna add these. You're gonna like somebody will say something and you're gonna make a eat cherry noise.
Yes.
As I see. And
Does that sound good?
and somebody cracks a bad joke and you do a reverse symbol.
Yes.
A reverse
Here we
symbol.
go. Sounds.
Did you want to hear it?
I do.
Okay.
He does.
Absolutely gotta hear.
All right, here we go. All right. I'm a reverse cherry.
A reverse what?
Cherry. Or an eat cymbal noise.
Yeah, that's cool. No, that makes you seem real stupid, don't it? I can hear it. I'm reacting to something that nobody else can hear. You ever had that feeling?
Yeah, but your reactions are great though.
Uh-huh.
Uh-oh. Look at this. I see steam coming out of the pot.
Tea.
Tea is on its way, folks.
Tea for two.
Here, you can look stupid for a while.
Oh, please. Everybody deserves to be looking stupid at
This
some
is the
point.
PG tips.
Ooh, it's like I'm in outer space land.
Do it.
That's awesome. Somebody say
we
something.
are
Really good.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
That's fun. Wow.
We like follow you to the station.
Could you hear me when I
drugs.
talked in
Well,
there?
just think if we all had
Yeah.
our headphones on and we all had something different that was playing in it, and we could all, we'd all
Interact.
interact, Nobody had the same reality.
Perception.
All right.
I think it's already like that.
Alpha Molly Guma.
If you find somebody with the same reality,
Okay. Let us go around and identify ourselves. My name is John. I'm the mad scientist. You go that way.
I'm Steve, and I grow mushrooms and play music and come to the tea party
From Marshall.
in Marshall. It's happening.
What is all this?
My name is Asiris, and I'm happy to be here. I like to drink tea.
Boy, I do too.
Love tea.
oh yeah, and I'm Badger, also known as the artist D-Sin, living art in America.
Right.
What kind of art you do?
Oh, life, and I create large public sculptures and get in trouble and make all kinds of things out of copper, like my chainmail headband and.
We should
pipes
talk.
and,
You'd like to
stuff.
get into trouble, huh?
Well, I don't so much like it; it's just inevitable.
Just
but-
try and
Yes.
stop him.
It is. Incredible.
Well, like once upon a time here, I built this thing I called rearranging the furniture, and I spent about 11 months over a 3-year period from 95 to 98 rearranging probably between 200 and 300 tons of waste concrete down on the river by the River Link Bridge. And turned out it was Carolina Power and Lights Company land, and they didn't want some old freak building a garden out of their dump. So they had me arrested, and then they proceeded to build a chain link and barbed wire fence around like almost 2.5 acres of land to keep me out. And then several years later, a hurricane happened here and flooded French Broad, and I guess Belmont or Biltmore Village was underwater or something. And then they found when the waters went down that there was some toxic goo, coming up out of the soil by this garden. And turns out that underneath all this waste concrete that I rearranged was as many as 10 tanks, I hear, of toxic waste.
How you feeling these days?
Well, except for the third eye, it's all good.
Good.
Yeah. But I told him at the time, I was there to heal that desecrated land that
Yeah.
they had dumped all this stuff on to build a garden out of it, and didn't really consciously
Yeah, they don't care
know
about
of the
that.
garbage. But
Yeah.
I believe they spent, probably 50 grand on this fence to protect their secret of toxic sludge. But now it's all gone. They dug it all out, and now the chain link and barbed wire is surrounding a dirt field.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
That's right. We're to you now.
yeah, I'm L.S. Grillo from Wallpaper Project. Thursday nights, 11:30 p.m. following Mountain Dungeon.
What does the wallpaper project do?
See what we see in the background? Mm-hmm. That's what we do.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's very cool. Highly
So
enjoy the graphics.
you could have us like running in place, being chased by a car or something.
Backwards. yeah.
Cop.
Enough to
Chain link
realize.
fence coming after us. Closing us
Yes.
in. I'm Jen Bowen. I'm a local artist, photographer, documentarian, and activist. So I try not to get into trouble, but sometimes trouble has to be made.
Yeah. and and you have a specific subject to talk
I do.
with us.
I have the park
Also,
side.
you're wearing the blouse that you were wearing in the photograph that I liked so much.
You recognize that? I totally didn't even realize that, but you're
Yeah.
right. You said you should use this photo on all your stuff, and this is the blouse.
I meant to actually download it, and I was going to have it on the blue screen behind it, but there's just so many hours in a day to get so
Yeah,
much
no
done.
worries. I understand the hours and the days.
So I didn't get that done before your visit, but I thought I tried. I thought
Good
about
job in observing though, because I totally forgot that I was like I hadn't worn this blouse in months, and today I was like I should wear this blouse.
Yeah.
There you go.
it. That's right.
Yeah, I'm here about the Parkside development issue, which if folks are familiar with that at all, they're building this. They sold public parkland in front of City Hall.
Parkside development. That sounds good.
Yeah, doesn't it? It sounds good.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Parkside development.
European living at its best. Is that what it says on this final?
Something to that extent. Something like multi-million-dollar condos built
Gated
on
community.
public parkland in front of our municipal building, where we're tearing down a 200-year-old magnolia tree. Oh,
Oh well, we had a fella on here yesterday. He says the magnolia tree is dying.
it's not.
He says it's dying.
We're all dying.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
Yeah.
dying.
Not today. Maybe.
If it's not dying,
It doesn't. It looks healthy to me.
it won't be long.
It's on its third leg.
Yeah,
It's on its last tree ring.
it's dying.
Really?
Yeah.
So then,
If they have to salt the ground, it's dying. Do you understand what I'm saying?
so if they,
The tree is dying.
can they cut it
I
up
think
in little
that tree is going to stand in the way of a multi-million-dollar. No, the thing's dying.
The thing is dying. Of
The
course.
tree is dying. I've been told that. I was told by a guy who's asked if he could be back on the Tea Party today
Really?
when I told him you were
That'd be
coming.
interesting. I'd like to have a conversation with that man.
Well,
I'd love to see that conversation.
Could they cut it up in little pieces and sell them as special city emblems?
Yeah,
All
piece
right.
of Asheville. Take it home with you, tourists from Florida.
all right, Richard, you've been called out, Richard.
Who?
Richard? Richard?
Have we met him before?
Yes, well, I've met him before. I don't know if you have.
Was he here one day when we were here and we were talking about the esteemed Mr. Mumpower? And
He
was
is
defending-
one of the
defending-
he's the person who produces most of the videos we see of Mr. Mumpower here. And he was for
Oh, he's a creative artist. Then.
yeah, he's a creative artist. He was a deputy sheriff for
That's him.
a
Yeah.
good number of years, and
I mean, I actually like Carl. I think Carl's one of the finest Southern gentlemen I've ever had the pleasure to meet. We might not always agree on our policy theories,
Right.
but he definitely is always on his best behavior.
good. Well, I give him credit for that too. He actually had tea. He actually had tea while we were off the air, but he has been here and he's had tea.
Yeah, he's a
Was he on his best behavior?
Oh, he was on his best behavior. Yes, he was.
yeah. And he actually is in favor of not allowing this Parkside development to go up. He actually is totally against the sense of having
Good for
these.
him.
Yeah, because he totally agrees.
He's on the right side.
He is on the right side, and I applaud him for that. I give him a pat on the back to Carl Mumpower and to all the city council, because I think they're actually all on the right side of this. They all agree that this is just not best for the city.
And it's public land.
It is what George Pack did. George Pack is a great philanthropist here who donated all the land in between Vance Monument all the way up to City Hall, that entire green space in there. I'm sorry about that. He donated all that land. And that's why we have the Pack Library named for him, and Pack Place, and all these wonderful Pack things.
That's because we donated all our money.
And that
Because he's a
was
philanthropist.
donated for a public park.
For a
correct?
public park.
So
It
I was
says that in
wondering,
the
could we
deed.
build a parking deck there so the public could park?
Coleman hasn't tried that. Maybe he'll bring that up in Tuesday.
I did like in
cute.
the artistic representations that when you're walking down to that area, you can see these hypothetical artist renditions they've done of what it will look like in the
Looks
future.
beautiful, doesn't it?
And there's plenty of parking, and there's not many people, and there's not much traffic, and it's like that's not exactly what it looks like.
Everybody
There's
has
major parking
2.5
problems.
children, and
Yeah, they should have. Instead, should have a picture, and there should be like one guy over here, and he's kind of drunk, and like behind him is
Guy
like,
sleeping
like
over.
a crackhead getting ready to like pick his pocket or something.
People side parked.
couple hippies on the banging their drums. Like that's the Asheville they
exactly.
envision and the real Asheville. I think the perspectives are different.
Yeah.
Realities are different. You know, we're
But
not
you're,
saying things.
you're involved with some group that has to do with sort of the planning of what will the future of Asheville be, aren't you?
Well, we're trying to start. Actually, we're hoping out of this, several things will come out of this whole debacle. One, we're wanting to hold the county commissioners responsible for selling public parkland that they had no right to do to begin with.
Who did that?
The county commissioners. So Bill Stanley, Carol Peterson.
To build apartment complexes or something along the side.
To build these condos.
High-rise.
Well, see, apparently, like, there's no record of this, but there are supposedly private meetings that Stuart Coleman had with specific county commissioners beforehand to let them know, he was interested in this property. He already owns the Hayes Hobson building, which is that great big kind of abandoned pink building that's right there on the corner. It's just kind of standing empty. So he owns that land. And now he just bought this other land, and he wants to build this huge, you will never be able to see the fireworks from City County Plaza ever again on the 4th of July once this thing gets built. It's going to be massive. So he wanted to buy this land. He let them know that he was
But
interested.
the people in the penthouse will have a good shot of the
that's right,
fireworks
yeah.
out their back window. Won't
Right, but who are these people? Like, what Asheville jobs do they have? Because I haven't had any kind of
They'll be
salary
bringing
like
money to Asheville City.
Oh, right, as a second home, so they won't actually be putting money
they'll come down
back
about
in.
15
Yeah,
cents worth of
they'd like
organic
to come
vegetables.
here because I have heard it is beautiful, and the locals will work for almost nothing.
Yeah, that's. We'll sell ourselves short for somebody else who doesn't live here. Anyways, so despite philosophies,
I wonder what that weirdness was.
there's a rally on Tuesday that's trying to stop this, to let the council know that we the public do not agree with the sale, that it was illegal. We the public believe that we can develop this land, not develop the magnolia tree, but develop the land properly as to something that actually benefits our community. Something
Thank you,
like
kind sir.
a performing arts center has been discussed for the past 12 years, so that would be interesting to see that actually happen.
Performing arts
A
center.
performing arts center, wouldn't that
Wouldn't
be
that be
wonderful?
beautiful?
Because the Civic Center's just handles all of our needs so well.
right or the
Yeah, we need
I guess it
we need more
depends on whether you're
performing
from the
arts.
other
I've
side
been
of the
going
equator
to
or from England.
a little bit of drama classes, and boy, that's a hoot. That is just
There's
an absolute
sugar
hoot. That's why I'm doing all this stuff.
Where are you
'cause
going to classes at?
There's this interplay, which is one little thing, and then
And
there's,
artificial.
Playback theater, Asheville Playback Theater.
They're great.
They're much better. I go to rehearsal with them, and they're much better in rehearsal than they are because they're under constraints. You can see they're a little tighter in their actual performances because they have to be just a little bit more concerned about what's going on. But in their
rehearsal, they can let it all out,
that's-
huh?
Yeah, it gets real spontaneous.
Okay.
An interplay.
Oh,
So
hey
we
there.
could do that. We should be doing
Are
that
you
more
coming in to
publicly.
tea or what?
We should have more public drama and less private drama.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I haven't seen you in so long.
I know, it's been a few days.
I heard that you had really good cookies.
The cookies are delicious.
Yes, we do have some good cookies. And if you want to pull in another chair up at the end there, we can
totally make
squeeze
room.
another in.
I will come back in. I'm editing up here, being a good girl.
I'll say hi to you before I leave for sure. I want to talk to you. So
Yeah.
very good.
We need a protest song. Somebody needs to write a protest song
We
about that.
do. We need a protest
Oh, he
song
can
for
write a
Tuesday.
protest song. Give him 10 minutes.
Do you want to come on Tuesday and sing a protest
When is
song?
it?
Tuesday from 4:30 to 6:30 at City County Plaza.
We can do. It wouldn't just have to be about the City County Plaza. It could be about
It
anything.
could be about anything. Just come.
You have speakers.
It
we-
should
okay.
be about a tree or something.
Magnolia
there's-
tree, right?
The greater
Yeah.
philosophy. I mean, the
Oh,
trees
under
are
the magnolia
representation.
tree.
Under the magnolia
Oh,
tree.
that's a good title for a
That is.
song.
That
Under
is
the
a good
magnolia tree. Sitting under the magnolia tree in Pritchard Park with my girlfriend, holding hands, and think what a beautiful city Asheville is.
Maybe somebody could paint a mural of the magnolia tree on the front of the condo complex.
Yeah,
That would be
there you go.
nice.
Yeah, the fake magnolia
Right,
tree.
whether they like it or
Let's see,
not.
sugar, sugar.
And then paint
Por
some park
favor.
benches underneath it, so you can.
Right, and some hippies playing their
You know,
drums under there.
it's like
A couple of hippies in the bush smoking a joint.
yeah.
You gotta have that.
Can you say that on TV?
No.
He just did.
It's commentary, right?
We're live,
Yeah.
so if you heard me say it, so
Oh,
did
yeah,
they.
it's just that, when I'm sitting on the sidewalk selling my
I
trinkets.
don't think anybody's going to be too surprised
Yeah.
at that remark.
Yeah,
when they-
unfortunately.
when they
Except maybe
ask me
Dick
if it's
Cheney, he
the
might be
cigarette
surprised.
holders for.
He's only got-
smoking
he's
tobacco
on
products.
limited
I go,
time.
No, they're for smoking
Limited time.
joints. And yeah, I've actually been arrested and jailed in Madison, Wisconsin for for saying that my pipes and cigarette holders were made primarily for smoking marijuana and not tobacco.
Oh my.
So it's a crime to actually
Say that.
say that word, and
We don't smoke
Marijuana?
marijuana
Right.
in Muskogee.
because then they assume that my pipes were illegal drug paraphernalia instead.
But they're
of
for tobacco use, right?
No,
Yeah,
he
that-
said-
no, I would
said-
tell them, no, this is for smoking pot.
They're primarily for smoking pot, he
But
said.
it's really up to the
But they're
customer
for
if they
smoking
want.
anything that
Whatever they
anyone who
want. Yeah,
purchases
they
them
can.
may smoke
So,
whatever
yes.
they wish in
You
there.
know, if they want to say this is what it's for, buddy, I don't care what it's for.
Well, yeah,
That'll
it's-
be $500.
That's part of the reason why I do what I do is that I refuse to earn a taxable income any further to support a drug war or prison industry or the bombing of people back to the Stone Age. And, instead of building prisons, maybe we could build schools and
Something
medical centers
proactive and-
you know,
I like the
something
stevia packets, by the way. Very nice.
what are those?
This is good
Some
tea.
chemical goop.
Oh,
The
come
opposite
on.
of
A little cream.
Comes in a stevia
Hey,
plant.
where's the sassafras?
Did you get any sugar? Unfortunately, no. The sassafras, it's the stick is sticking out of the thing over yonder.
That makes it a little
Sassafras? I love
And there's
sassafras.
a
Is that root or
and there's a
stick?
grandy thing in that in the
greater.
there's a little grater in the bottom of that same box if you look.
Isn't it true that Asheville had the first city arts council in the entire country?
No, that is not true.
That's not true.
I've
No,
never
the
heard
first arts council in America was in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Okay.
Really?
I think, is it true that Asheville was one of the first in the country? I was watching
Well,
a
they
thing on like
probably
Zebulon
followed
Vance
fairly
or something they were
soon, you know,
talking about back in.
Can
You
I try
know.
the sassafras?
Yeah, but now it will change the texture, the change your tea. You
Oh,
know.
I know. I'm drinking tea bark.
Okay.
Well, sassafras are really nice
Oh, but I
stuff.
love sassafras.
Okay.
I understand if you do too much of it, it has something to do with.
So how you like the way I throw a tea party?
Every time I come, it's so different. Last time it was like this wonderful mushroom tea I couldn't get enough
Oh,
of.
that's right. You were here
I was
when we
like,
had the mushroom tea.
I was
the what?
loving
Right.
the mushroom
Yeah, she
tea. I
was
like,
the biggest fan of the
I was
mushroom
like,
tea. That's
love
right.
this. Anybody else care to try the sassafras?
Really good.
I've got
I'll try
like
some.
30 pounds in my refrigerator. Should have brought some. We could have had some fresh.
If you'd known she was coming, you would
Love that
have.
mushroom tea.
Well, if you happen to go around up and down the road and you see these whitish brown mushrooms growing all over right now, they're the meadow mushrooms, and they're supposed to be a choice edible. I haven't tried eating one.
I
though.
bet so.
But I did a spore print off them, and I'm pretty much 100% certain that what they are. And they're everywhere right now, growing in everybody's lawns.
What do they look like?
Oh, they get to be about this big around, and they're off-white, brown in the center, kind of a grayish brown maybe. And if you leave them on a paper towel, they get the spores. It comes out a chocolate brown spore print, and so they're everywhere right now.
And they're called what?
Meadow mushrooms.
Your basic meadow mushrooms, right? Very tasty.
Yeah, so they're everywhere right now, and yeah, I'm going to come and dig mushrooms around the woods for a while.
That's very cool.
Yeah, like you were talking before, you got here, they have this National Audubon Mushroom North America Field Guide, and it's got 800 or 900 color plates, and then all the descriptions and spore size, prints, colors.
Right, and the pictures where the stem is split and they've cut into the gills and then they show.
Not so much. They
Not- they don't have that
too many
much?
of the dissected ones, but
Oh.
they do have descriptions and tell you if they're edible, poisonous,
Mm-hmm.
how and why and where they grow, and if they're hallucinogenic or whatever, and what kind of cautions, because there's like chicken mushrooms you're not really supposed to eat with alcohol, might cause mild allergic reactions and blah blah blah. Some of
So you
them-
stay away from those.
No, the chicken mushrooms actually taste real good.
Oh, it tastes like
Depends on what the
chicken.
allergic reaction.
Yeah, actually, it tastes like kind of overcooked chicken. It has the texture of an overcooked.
Maitake,
Yeah.
I think it is. Is it maitake?
All right.
Well, the chicken ones are these great big shelf mushrooms. They grow up into bright orange. They're also called sulfur
I think it's
mushrooms.
'cause
I
they
think
look like
I think
chicken.
this is a big the extreme is a big hit.
You think so?
Yeah.
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 Where did
I-
you get these fireworks from?
That was from 4th of July right here downtown Asheville.
Really? From this past weekend?
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
The only thing is that's not what we saw.
That's what the back of my head looks
That's
like.
not what you saw.
That's not what we saw. I mean, that's what happened. That's
That's from
archived.
the, right.
It's all the footage, but that's not what we saw.
Okay.
I wallpaperized it.
Right. It's all. I can tell that it's kind of edited and layered on top of each other, and
Actually, it's not.
some of them look like they're
Edited,
going
it's-
inverted.
Yep.
That's cool.
And the audio that goes with it,
It's backwards
Yeah.
and forward. At the
it's
same
both
time.
channels. Yeah.
Wow.
And also, I was up in the parking garage, and there's, you know how when you hear the blast and then you hear the
blasts
echo from it.
sound good.
But up in the, yeah, you start laughing up at the parking lot when you hear the feedback from the, and then you hear, you're not hearing, you hear, and so everybody's laughing after every firework. So which makes when I slow it down and play it all backwards, it just sounds like everybody's like a ghoulish, you know. So it sounds really. Nobody else would do that.
Reverse to reverb.
Both forward and backwards at the same time, and no track lanes in the same place.
It's very galactic.
Very galactic.
I like the sassafras. I highly suggest the sassafras.
It is delightful.
It is, isn't it? I love sassafras. You know, it's the only tree that has 3 different types of leaves, and you can never tell which kind of leaf's going to grow. They've got the
You mean not
The-
the same tree, but different trees will have different leaves.
well,
No,
no,
the
like,
same tree.
The same tree has
Same-
3 different leaves.
The
and-
same branch sometimes.
Yeah, and there's a 3-prong, and then there's the mitten, the mitten one, and then there's just the basic leaf. And so that's how you can always find a sassafras.
I've got a bunch of sassafras I'm gonna have to cut down. I
How
hate
much?
to, but,
How much? You have to cut some down?
yeah, they're shading my field.
Well, pull up the roots too,
Yeah.
and dry them out.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Then you got some sassafras tea.
Yeah, I like it with tea, but I like it plain too.
Well, you can make sassafras too. You don't have to.
Sassafras and mushroom tea.
We can.
Well, can't you make sarsaparilla too?
Actually, I think sarsaparilla is a different. I think it's a different one. When I was taking herbalism classes last year, I was there. I was like, "Isn't that?" And they were like, "No, it's actually a different plant."
Sarsaparilla is a different plant.
So which is the predecessor of root beer? That's
I
sassafras.
think that's
Sassafras.
sarsaparilla.
That's
No, it's
sarsaparilla.
sassafras. The sassafras.
Then there's our
The oil,
conundrum. Right?
the oil of sassafras is 70% saffron, which is if you freeze the oil of sassafras, it actually contains 3 oils, and the first one that freezes out is saffron, and that's 70% saffron, and that was the main ingredient in root beer for
right.
taste, sassafras.
But then why do they call sarsaparilla? Like the old-fashioned root beer places when you go to like Dodge City and all that jazz.
Well, that's sarsaparilla.
Okay,
That's what-
it's a different.
Different
But-
roots,
but-
right?
Which
But
is,
root beer comes from the roots of sassafras.
So root beer comes the main flavoring ingredient in old style A&W root beer. Now saffron has been declared a carcinogen,
Right.
and they're not allowed to use it as a food substance. So we're probably breaking the law. And
Cigarettes are illegal in sassafras.
by
not.
drinking sassafras tea, just
Sure. Car exhaust is fine and everything else, but
Something I didn't know there.
not plant bark.
Pass the cookies.
Well, generally speaking, I wake up breaking law because generally speaking, I'm sleeping outside someplace where it's a crime to sleep. So
Well, come sleep under the magnolia tree. They have 24-hour vigil watch there.
all right.
So it's all the homeless people of Asheville.
This was what was brought up yesterday too. Was they said that there is a girl, and he was asking me, is it the girl who's staying under the tree? They said someone is staying.
24 hours a day.
Who is that?
That's Dixie. Lady Passion.
Lady Passion. They said,
So now would be a good time to go and sit under that?
Is she one of my friends?
I don't. She's not on MySpace.
Okay.
They're from Coven Old and Wild. Lady Passion and Steve Rossman. He writes
I
for the
know
Asheville
them.
Daily Planet, and she's a very active Wiccan priestess. She's really interesting. I really like her a whole lot. She's very passionate about things, and so sometimes it's hard to kind of see the even ground with her because she's so adamant about what she believes in, and she has to be because she's sleeping under a tree 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Just think how she'll be in a couple of months, man.
There you go. Go hang out with you and Lady Passion.
maybe.
Bunk up under the
Yeah,
tree and.
Just had 4 friends over in Nashville that came back from Evansville, Indiana, where they'd been tree sitting to stop the I-69, interstate freeway that's going, connecting like Toronto to Mexico or something. So they're trying to stop I-69 in the middle of,